Hey y'all. So I just did the video about like the reasons why she gets disrespectful. So it was just like an overview. Like some of the reasons why your lady or your lady friend, your wife, sister, whoever, why she may have started being disrespectful towards you. So what I really want to get into now is how to avoid her getting to that point. Usually a woman is going to show you signs, even if they're just verbal signs, even if she's just keep telling you, certain things. A lot of time she'll just keep asking you some of the same questions because she's hoping to get a different response to those questions, right? She's hoping that at some point you give her the answer that she needs to continue on with the situation in a respectful way, right? So I feel like, a lot of clues are given, but because men and women, we think different and we move different, a lot of times the guys aren't picking up on the clues, right? Or they do know that, hey, this is her third time asking me this. She probably really want me to say X, Y, and Z, but I ain't gonna say that. Okay. So you basically have just decided that you're not gonna give her that answer that you want, that you know she needs or that you know she's looking for. So this is what I say. To avoid all the disrespect that's going to come at some point, more than likely it's going to come when this woman feels like she's being hurt or she's being used or she's just tired of what you're putting her through, right? To avoid all of that, I'm going to give you some pointers. And why I say at this stage in life and in this, just in the broad spectrum of everything, the more negative outcomes you can avoid, the more negative, just the more negative energy you can avoid putting out in this life right now, the better it will be for you just as a person. And that's male or female, right? Because life is we're all at a place in life that we've never been before, right? But it's definitely a lot more difficult than it has been previously. Between everything being more higher, between people mindset being different, expectations being different, between all the things that are different and challenging, it's the best thing you can do is to be the best that you can be and to give off the best that you can be. Like at this point in my life, I'm not trying to give out anything negative, to be honest with you. Because I just don't need any additional negative things happening in my life. Like whatever negative is going to happen, it's going to happen because that's just something that God is going to allow to happen to make me better. It's not going to be because I put this thing out there, so it got to come back to me. I just can't afford to do that, right? I put in so much time, so much work over the years trying to do things to position myself to have a better life overall. So it would be crazy of me to now start to do things that's just going to bring bad luck and bad energy into my life. It don't make sense to do that. It's like hustling backwards. It's going against the grain. So all I can do it's just the best that I can do. And that's something my grandma used to say, all you can do is the best that you can do. And that's really the reality of life right now. For people who really want to try to progress and try to move up as high as they can, put themselves in the best situation to live the best life that they can. That don't mean that you're going to live an extravagant life. That don't mean that you're going to be, making all this money. It just means that you will live a life that you can, that you're okay with. That at the end of it, you won't feel like, why was here for nothing? Well, why was I even here? Nobody wants to have that. When them eyes closed for that last time, you at least want to feel like, hey, it ain't been that bad. You understand me? So I'm just going to give some ideas, some advice, call it what you want, on how to avoid getting her to that point where basically the point of no return, that disrespectful tunnel that once we start going down there, we really can't go back a lot of times. If I had to say one thing, that one thing would be, listen, leave that man daughter and that lady daughter alone if you're not ready for her. I repeat, leave that man daughter and that lady daughter alone if you are not ready for her. Because essentially, it's a good chance that you're going to hurt yourself more than you're going to hurt her. Right? Because if she's giving you good energy, good vibes, good karma, and you're returning that with negative, you have to understand that that's just bringing bad luck and bad energy to your life. That's the part I don't get. And for me, that's why if I'm dealing with a guy and then afterwards, okay, he started dealing with a chick or whatever, me and him go through something, you can't really make me mad for an extended period of time with that. I may initially feel a way about it when I hear about it, but you really cannot, because I understand how life works. So you really can't make me too mad when I know I've given off good energy. I know that and you have returned it with negative. I know that that's coming back to you. Now, God could grace you. He could grace you and let you not experience some of that, have some mercy on. He could. But you have to be the type of person that's going to tap into that and ask for that. And chances are, if you was giving off all this negative energy and negative vibes, and then you don't even know how to tap into that with God and ask him for it. So yeah, it's coming back one way or the other. It don't have to come back in the same way. But I mean, I just have lived long enough, and I thank God that I have lived long enough to see some things. And I can honestly say that in these days and times, stuff coming back quicker than you expect. And I can honestly say that in this life, when people have really wronged me and I didn't do anything to contribute that. Now, I'm not saying I don't walk no perfect life. Cause listen, I done did some things now, and I have paid for them things too now. So that's why I know what I'm saying, because it will come back to see you. And I can honestly say that a lot of times in situations where people have just flat out wronged me, and especially when I was good to them, I have lived long enough to see, boy, they had to see God by that. They had to see God by that. Like, real deal, they had to see God by that. Some people done paid with their life behind that. Understand me? So honest to God, I know he feel a way about me. And he may feel that way about all his kids. But I thank God that he feels that way about me. So when I know that he done handled some people who did real dirt to me, and he done allowed some other things to happen to some other people who did some negative things to me, listen, I know he gonna handle his business. So that makes me feel more obligated to not give off bad. And it also makes me feel guilty when I do. And I just want to go back and say, hey, I was wrong for that, you know. But more importantly, it makes me not even want to do it. And I know that puts me in a situation where you run the risk of you being good to a person and them not being good to you. Right? Yes, it does. But because I know that the person who gonna handle you, I could still be comfortable with giving you my best self, you know, when I feel that you deserve that, at least at that time and in that space. I can honestly give you a good version of myself without having to think hard about it. Because I know that in the event that you purposely handle me wrong and mishandle me, you gon' see the man about me. And like I say, stuff come back so swiftly these days. It's just funny to me, you know, like in one situation that I had going on, like a particular person, they had been doing this crazy little thing. They had been doing it for years. Nothing happened to them. Like stuff they weren't supposed to be doing, they was doing. Nothing happened. Boom. Soon as me and this person get into it, and they call themselves, you know, saying X, Y, and Z or moving a certain way. Boom. That same thing they've been doing for years, they got caught doing it. I say, man, look at her. You can't tell me, like, listen, everybody you can't mishandle and just think that, okay, oh, nothing. No, a lot of dudes, a lot of the bad luck, y'all turn around and be crying about it and run into your mama. And that's negative energy y'all done put out. Y'all done put that stuff out there. So when it come back to y'all, now you want to pray and want people to pray for you and you want to go to church and this. Bruh, do yourself a favor and stop putting out the negative. So the negative could stop coming back to you. Life is hard enough. Stuff already gonna happen that is not part of your plan for your life. You already gonna have to deal with some hard things. So to purposely make it harder, you have to be silly to do that. I don't understand that. And then some things, even if it don't happen to you, when you have kids or you have, you know, you might have nieces and nephews, like me in my case. I don't want to do some things to people that my nieces or nephews or kids or whoever may have to pay for later. Like, it's just not worth it. So the first thing you could do is, like I say, leave that man daughter alone, leave that lady daughter alone. If you know you're not ready for what she's asking for what she deserves, or for what she's expecting from you. Because you know when you start dealing with her, what her expectations were. You knew whether or not you could meet those expectations, whether or not you were willing to meet those expectations. At the point where you know your mind has changed and you no longer want to do what she want to do, have that conversation with her. And at the point where you're going into a situation where you know that you don't want what she want, have that conversation and miss that. Miss her with that. Miss yourself with all of it. Because it all looks foolish. If you get in a situation with a woman, you don't want to be in that situation. Then you start doing all this negative stuff to her. It's like you a two-time loser, because you in a situation you don't even want to be in, because you and her ain't on the same page. You don't want to move like she want to move. Then you done gave off all this negative energy. So now it's coming back to you. So you miserable because it's a situation you don't really want to be in anyways. She's getting disrespectful. She's making it a bad situation for y'all now. And then now you doing negative stuff that's hurting her. So it's going to come back to see you. So like what sense really did it make? It would have been easier for you to not even get in that situation. Or once you got in that situation and that girl done told you, hey, my expectations is X, Y, and Z, and you know your expectations is on the A, B, and C, it would have been easier for you to have just left that situation alone. Like, that's the first thing. Don't even get in that situation. Leave that girl alone when you know that you don't want what she wants. You're not willing to step up to the plate. Right? Leave her alone. And if you can't leave her alone, or if the if the expectations change sometime during the situation, have a conversation and let her know, hey, I can't be the man that you need me to be. That's one of the best statements a man ever told me. That's one of the best statements a man ever told me, and I would never forget that man when he told me that. To this day, I respect that man for telling me, and he was legit when he told me that. He was a young man when he told me that. He couldn't have been no more than 21, but he was man enough to be honest enough to say, I know what you want, but I can't be that right now because I love these streets. And that's just what he told me. I can't be the man that you need me to be right now because I love the streets. And I understood that when he said that. And what could I do but respect that? And it didn't take me no time to loose that. Now, sadly enough, it wasn't 3-4 months later when he got in big trouble, hit a bank, and he been locked up ever since then. And sad to say, he was one of my best boyfriends. He was really everything that I would have wanted in a guy. And it's like he threw his whole life away because he wanted to be in the streets. And every time I talk to this man, which we don't talk a lot, but if we happen to talk, he always is very, very, very apologetic because he know that he not only threw his life away, but he threw away what we had. And we was definitely like the most non-traditional couple. Like if two people came together, you wouldn't have thought it would have been me and that person. I could have never have seen that. So that was, me just like, why not? Why not? And it ended up being one of the situations that I really enjoyed being in my youth. And I really enjoyed that person. I really enjoyed getting to know that person, even though it's like it was short-lived because, they spent a lot of time in the streets and I had already went off to college. So, they'll say, well, come on for the weekend, and I would, and we'll spend some time, we'll do some dates, we really had some good times, but it was short-lived because that person was picking the streets, and I know that he done spent all his life in prison pretty much, and he have had a whole lot of regrets about that, but there's nothing you could do at that point, but it's nothing you can do once you done made those decisions. But for people who are in situations that you can make some decisions, you can avoid some heartaches, whether it's your heartache, whether it's someone else's heartache. When you can make some better decisions, man, at this point in life, you have to be willing to make the hard decisions that's going to be better for the present. It's going to be better for the present. It may be the hardest thing you could do, but it's the best thing that you could do because you're going to avoid putting this girl through anger, stress, hurt, scarring her. And you're going to avoid putting yourself through it. Because one thing about it, when you put me through something, I'm definitely trying to take you up through that too. I don't care if it's just for a day. I just be feeling like, hey, we both finna be sitting up here mad then. You understand me? We both finna be mad. I ain't finna be up here just with my feelings hurt. I'm finna say something, do something to put you on edge too. And that's the crazy thing because in this day and time, like, it's dangerous. Like, life is dangerous. Ain't nobody feelings is to be played with. Nobody mind is to be played with because people really like dying and catching charges and, over feelings, over emotions, over ego, And it's like, if we can avoid any of that, like, it's just better to avoid it, So that's all I can say is that, hey, at the point where you know that you're not on what she on, have the conversations. If you was once on what she was on, you was willing to try it, then it changed. At the point where it changed, have a conversation. The other thing I want to say is to avoid the anger, the disrespect, to avoid a lot of that, do the work on yourself. I think Life Genius, he said the best. Don't be a nigga out here looking for a dime. Like, everybody want top tier. They want the apple that's highest on the tree. Everybody want top tier everything, but you're not presenting top tier. Like, you have to get realistic with yourself. And shout out to Tony Gaskins, because I have been binge watching his stuff. And I can truly say that even though it appears like that he's younger than me from what I've heard him say his age was, but that young man has so much wisdom in the stuff that he says. Ladies, y'all go check out his podcast, because that man has so much wisdom in the stuff that he has shared through his videos, especially the ones, like I said, I've been binge watching him lately because I really just got on to him. And all I can say is, like, you truly, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And me being raised by a man, sometimes I feel like, oh, I know, but I don't know. I just know how my dad is. That doesn't necessarily give me a big picture of how everyone is, because my dad is a different kind of man. He's a military man. So, he moves different. He's strategic. He's responsible. He believes in work. He believes in, he built different. Now, how my dad is, he is a different man than the pool that I'm dating or picking from, right? So I know how this pool is over here with my dad, but I don't date and pick things from his pool most of the time. I'm picking out of a different pool. I'm picking out of my community, or, just what's in front of me, what's presenting itself to me, or people I've dealt with historically, that, that's generally the dating pool that I'm picking out of, because I'm really not into no dating sites, and I ain't on none of that. Like, I'm not built for that. Like, it's intriguing that some people can actually get married from that. But when I meet a man, I need to be able to look in his face. I need to be able to pick up on his vibe. I need to see if he goofy to me, if he lame to me. And even if he is, I need to be able to determine in that moment if I want to give his lame self a chance, just to see if he's going to say something that made me say, You understand? So the online dating stuff is really not for me, and will never be for me, because I need to see you in that moment. I need to catch your vibe, see it, what your energy like. I need that face-to-face interaction with you out the gate. I never even like blind dates and stuff like that. Oh, you holler at my homeboy. Listen, if I don't just meet your homeboy, like, I don't want to just meet you. I don't want to meet him if I didn't just already run into him. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, for me, I'm a different kind of person. So it's a little harder for me to really find something and someone that I kind of really like, and we can really vibe. So when I find that, I tend to ride it out, because it's hard for me to find that. I'm not extra friendly. I'm not extra, anything, because in my mind, I understand today's time. I'm not going to put myself out there to get used. Not at all. Not physically, not monetarily, not emotionally, not any of that. Like, these dudes, a lot of dudes, they looking for people that they could use. Like, one of them told me, oh, I don't offer to pay for dates. I don't offer to pay for dates. I'm not saying that I can't pay for one. But why would I be offering to pay for dates? Like, you done took me on 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, you done took me on a lot of them. Once you have showed yourself to me as a man, then listen, any man with sense know that once he done proved himself to a woman and she has means, it ain't nothing he can't really get from her once he has proved himself. And if she's a certain type of female, once she see that he have her back in that way, then boom, ain't nothing you. But if you have not shown me that, I'm not finna lay out no red carpet for you. Why would I do that? No, you absolutely should stick to the person who's gonna do that. Let her daddy be ashamed of her, because I ain't finna let mine be ashamed of me. You can believe that. Not about no man. No. I ain't had, listen, man, listen. I done slid down the slides and rolled the rides, but I ain't had not one that make me want to start. I ain't had not one. No, sir. Whatever I do for you, that's something that I felt like I wanted to do for you. But I am in no way is my self-esteem so shot that I'm going to try to buy you, that I'm going to try to pay you. No, why would I do that? Because the same person who told me I don't pay for, I didn't offer them for dates. Okay, well, you turned right around after she paid for a date. You turned right around and wanted to take me on one. And I didn't want to go. So see what I'm saying? Now, it's one thing for you to have me feeling some kind of way about my feelings, but you don't want to see me about my money. So that's why I ain't even gonna put the money ain't even on the table and you ain't my husband. You understand me? Like, I do believe in, hey, one person should not always just be the giver, and you just a user, take it. But listen, in today's time, listen, you have to show some discrepancy because people will use you. And that's the one lesson I have seen. People will use you. I don't care how long you done know them. You can have known somebody for all their life, and then they start showing up as a different person, a person you never thought they was. Pay for dates? Well, you ain't never said nothing about paying for dates till you ran across this chick who was paying for them. Let her keep on. Listen, she could pay for every last one of them y'all want to go on. Because let me tell you the way I'm built. I don't even like girls' trips. You know why? Because I have to pay for them. Now, every year when it's time for my birthday, my daddy asks me where I want to go. He's going to foot that bill. I came up in a household with a man who pays bills, who pays for everything. So that is the expectation that I have, that a man is going to step up and do what a man do. Because it was always told to me that a man spends money on things that he likes. I was in the 9th grade and my boyfriend was working at Sonny's, and every week he got paid, he asked me what I wanted. You hear me? So I've been used to a guy being nice or showing love or what. So ain't no way in the world I'm going to get in my 40s and start saying, baby, what you want? Man, that's so funny to me. You hear me? That's funny. And listen. I could dissect that thing right there. But see, that come from a man that didn't have a daddy. If a man didn't have a daddy that was showing him what daddies do and loving on their mom in a certain way, paying bills in the house a certain way, when those expectations are set, a man knows what he's supposed to do when he sees it. The same way I had a mama that was coming home from work, cooking, cleaning, etc. That put that in my mind that that's something that I'm supposed to do as a woman. That's not going to change. I feel like I'm supposed to do that. And that's not a bad thing. So that's how I know that when a guy is talking sideways, it's because you didn't have an example of what you should be doing as a man. So leads me back to my point. Some of y'all know y'all don't have what it takes to be presenting yourself to this woman. You know that. And that's why you feel insecure about some women. That's why I used to be like, well, why would a man even care if a girl made more money than him? Oh, they care. When they built a certain way, or should I say when they're not built a certain way, oh, they care. So my other thing to keep the disrespect, to keep the foolishness, to keep all that, find you somebody who is with what you with. You know yourself at this age and stage in life. Don't go get you no chick that's an alpha when you know you can't really handle no alpha girl. You got to stick with the girls who didn't have a daddy, wasn't raised by a daddy, who got low self-esteem, who, extra on the people pleasing. You got to stick with them kind. Don't go get you no girl like me that like to poke her chest out. Like I said, I could be disrespectful, but I want to be respectful. I love a manly man. I love a man who know his role, who know what's expected. Because if he could function in his role, you could believe I'm going to show out in mine. Yeah. So know yourself enough to know what lane you need to stay in. Because I feel like that's part of the problem. And that's what brings some of the negative, some of the disrespect, some of the just bad ending with situations or relationships. Like you either the male or the female was never really in tune with the other person that they was dealing with. Like me, for instance, I know that if a dude is a certain kind of dude and like he's a street guy, like that's not a guy for me. Because I know the mentality and how they poke their chest out, and I know that we're gonna be bumping heads. So that is not a guy for me when he's extra on the street, and he's not a guy for me. Now, have I dealt with those? Yes. And have I had, good times, go out to eat? Yes, I have. But I also always kept in my mind that if we ever get into it, boy, don't fisticuffs coming, because they ain't no pushover and they ain't no pushover. So I think you have to know like what lane you need to stay in when you out here dealing with people, I think that's very important. And at the stage where you in your 40s, you should have an idea of like what kind of personality works for you and what kind of personality don't. And I believe, if you really tap into that and get in tune with that, you can save a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of unnecessary stuff that may go on in your life. Right? If you know that girl raised under certain guidelines, and listen, I can't even present you to my people and you don't have a job. My old boy don't want to hear nothing about I'm dating you and you don't work nowhere. You don't have a business. You don't even have a plan for one. Like, I'm pro that. Let's do that. Let's figure out something like what you like to do. Like, man, listen, if it's one thing I could do is some plans. Make some plans, do some, hey, I go what it is, Sun Biz, boy, boo, 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 LLC, boo, boo. Hey, listen, let's do it. So you can't be with me and don't have no ambition. Like, that's one thing when I lived down south, what I liked about them dudes is that almost every dude I met had a job. I mean, like, yes, you have a job. That's what yes, or a business or both, preferably. Yeah. Like, I don't understand anything less than that. If you can't work as we get older, some people have problems, some people have physical problems, back problems, mental problems, all kind of things that may keep them from having something legitimate. I get that. But there are other things you can do, whatever it is that you can do. If you can make shoelaces and tie them and sell them, something, ain't nowhere in the world. Listen, I ain't doing no more biz if it ain't my brother or daddy. But hats off to whoever want to do them. Because I done wrote all the letters. Nowadays, I'm getting paid for whatever I write. I done wrote so many 4-page love letters and sent them off. Typed so many long texts, emails on the ones who do the emails. Man, listen. It don't owe me nothing. I did all that. I ain't doing no more of that. Not in my mid-40s, almost 50s. Ain't no way in the world. A bid, you would be doing it by yourself. Especially because you ain't paid nothing. You ain't paid none of the bills over here. You ain't paid the taxes on my house. You ain't did that much for me. No, man, please. Listen. Salute to whoever want to do it. You go right ahead, sis. Make your parents proud. It won't be me. At this point, I feel like you can mess up your 20s. You can even mess up your 30s and still have a decent life. But by this age and stage, I'm 45, I'll be 46 next month. By this age and stage, you need to be coming with some business plans, some SWOT analysis, you need to be coming with some ideas of what you want to do, how you want to roll this thing out for the rest of your life. If you ain't presenting none of that, I stay single. You hear me? I stay single. Because I'm just not, I don't even want to deal with the mentality. And here's the thing, ladies. The guy be so messed up when he don't have when his life ain't rolled out the right way. He's so messed up. He's insecure. He mean because his life ain't rolled out in the way that he wanted it to or the way that he thought that it should. But instead of him manning up and owning up to that, he's going to just try to start finding faults in you. Yeah, you're going to find fault in me, the landlord, in me, the LLC owner, in me, the 1-2 degree helper, in me, the job with the benefits. And you're going to find fault in me. And that's not a person tooting their horn. That's an adult. That's an adult who has made some decisions to try to be at a certain place in life by this point. That's what we were supposed to do. Right? So if you didn't do that or you took a different path, that's not my fault. And if I still would be willing to give you a chance, knowing that you done messed up 20s and 30s, and I still would be willing to entertain you, I'm taking the risk on that. You ain't taking the risk. I'm taking the risk. Understand me? But at this age and stage, I'm not even willing to take that risk no more. Right? I'm not willing to take that risk for a relationship. You have to present to me in a way that you own what I'm on, and that it's a possibility that me and you going to be able to see eye to eye and build and have. And please don't hit me with the 50-50. Please don't even talk to me about 50-50. Because at nighttime, and this is a cliche example, but if somebody come in the house late at night and we hear a sound, you want both of us to get up? Me to get up and you get up? I guess I got to get up with a knife, you get up with a fire. Or I get up with a fire, you get up with a knife to go see who in our household. If you're going to be a man and you want me to respect that, stand on that. Stand on that. Like, take the whole responsibility of being a man. But I think dudes so scared of it, or better yet, they don't even know what it is to be that man. Oh, I pay half of my bills, and I'm on Section 8, and you pay half of them, and you talk, and you mentioning that half of the bills, and she stay in the projects, and you pay half, and you mentioning that, boy, hush, stop it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know if maybe I was born in the wrong generation or what. And I understand that, yeah, you may not, make a certain level of money or this or that. And we might do have to bust down on the bills, right? That's the reality. We may both have to pay the bills, but don't come to me with that mentality like that's the end and be all, because the reality is that if you were making enough money to do it, then I would expect you to take care of them if you could. But y'all ain't even trying to position yourself to take care of it if you could. You just coming and know you want to bring your half if you got that. You got to think greater and broader than that. I ain't just trying to sit and cuff my money. We going to build with mine. You going to pay the bills with mine, and then we going to build with mine. We going to get more with mine. Like, I ain't just going to just shop it all up or what. No, we finna have something. Ain't nobody trying to use you, because I'm still getting up, going to work every day. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But the reality is that life is too short to keep trying to figure it out too. Like, because it's some guys who get it. It's some guys who understand. It's some guys that ain't gonna come to you playing. Ain't gonna come to you shucking and jiving. Ain't gonna come to you wasting your time. Ain't gonna come to you talking about take me on a date. I'm looking for you. Better yet, I ain't looking for you. I'm just finna keep it cute till you come see about me. Yeah. Because I'm good. You understand me? Like, I've been mastered being single, being alone, I love me time. I love that time. That, you know how many ideas float through my head? How many, you know what I'm saying? I get a lot done. Like, I ain't scared to be by myself. But do you want a companion? Do you want somebody to grow old with? Yes, but the right person, not just anybody. Like my grandma used to say, you could do bad by yourself, but by yourself, you ain't gonna do that bad. And I stand on that, and that's real there. Real talk. But yeah, to avoid all the disrespect, to avoid all of the bad breakups, the name calling, the disrespect, all the stuff that you cannot take back, that you cannot get back, just stay in your lane. Know what you want. Look for the woman who you want what she want, or she want what you want. Ladies, look for the man who want what you want. Stop trying to make them want what you want when they don't want that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want what you want. They don't want to move how you want to move. Don't force it. Don't force it. It's okay. It's okay, because at the end of it, it's just going to be less of a headache for you. Less problems that you had to go through. Because you said, you know what, I ain't on that. Like, he could have that. She could have him. It's cool. We ain't even beefing. Ain't no hard feelings about that. Salute. You happy? Good. Maybe that's the type of woman you needed to be with to be happy. Maybe an alpha woman like me, that it would never make you happy. Maybe a more docile, oh, I'll pay this, I'll pay that. Maybe that makes you happy. You need to run to her, baby. Run to her. Yes. You hear me? But yeah, we can all save ourselves some trouble by, having certain conversations, staying in our lane, figuring out what works for us, and investing in those relationships that we know work for us, versus trying to invest in the ones that, we already really know that ain't it. And we still just want to play with it. We still just want to see, it do something for our ego or something. I don't know what it is. But nevertheless, that's that. Like, subscribe, hit me in the comments. I am heavy on the content right now because I just really want to put out some content. I just really want to talk, really want to have some conversations. I'm waiting for my old boy to come through so I could do an interview with him. I'm really ready to get the interviews going. I'm on this right now. Y'all have a good one.